Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday. It is February the 11th, and this is the Futures in 5. We're taking a look at a morning event that overall shows our charts as bullish with a potential identified resistance. Now, we do have a swing system through Metastock. It's called Target Rich Trades, and you can see from that system that it is telling us the failed retest of 2717 gave us the first entry, with the first target at 2691. Now we bounce back in the pre-market, still looking at the entry in the reversal at 2717. Again, our stops are a bit wider because it is a swing formation, but we won't be adding any more until we close below 2694 on the day. So far, all it's telling us is that we get to take profit at the deep support zones, not showing continuation yet. So we'll begin to continue this cycle and begin the process of holding on the longer swing short that should come into this range. I don't expect a big breakdown at all. You never know, but I do expect a lot of range-bound activity in this environment. All right, so right now we have bullish pressure that says pulling back ought to give us buy zones. The problem is we've already established resistance that is having trouble keeping underneath the levels. So you can trade in either direction. Actually, if you want to take a look at a 4-hour formation, you can see the rotation saying long here and short up here at the old resistance zones. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. Same sort of storyboard, bullish on the pullback because it is an upward motion event. So we look for old resistance, new support. We buy that area. But because we've established a high that broke down into deep support, we have to think about lower highs in the process. Those are going to be at around 69.76 to 69.80-ish if this chart is going to cleanly move downward. Notice the wick of this candlestick, that would be the low of February the 6th. That's 69.72, and our current high here is 69.69. So not able to get up over that level yet. I suspect that is our resistance zone. If we break it, we become more bullish and retest this edge. As it comes into this retest area, we should see divergent action that will tell us if we break down, we can add back to our swing shorting platform events up on the highs of resistance, which is what we want to look for if we're thinking about shorts. We're not looking for breakdown action because the motion is too bullish. You have to look at the failed resistance patterns for that, and you can see it clearly right here. We even have our trigger formations. This is our newest release for intraday trading in the live platform for Motive Wave. You'll see that in just a couple of weeks. And so this is telling us, hey, break down here, this, our secondary level into frontline support, and now we're pushing back up into the region. Looks pretty range bound to me, which is why I have that big range bound formation in our mindset at this time. All right, short action actually triggered way over here. It told us that resistance, if it got broken, it needs to fail that area and then open up the short. That's actually what happened overnight here. So the YM has just triggered the failed resistance level. It could come back here. It could fade into this area. The first target would be about 24,962. And then you would be looking at the formations that said, hey, you know, I'm holding this area as that support. You'd want to take profit until it gave us another lower high, and then you would add to the position. But that's where we're looking. If you want to take a look at the 4-hour formation, it is a bit more bearish in its structure overall. So it's telling us these bounce patterns are going to have a tough time in general. Notice how important. Look at how many alerts went off right here. That's going to be a critical mass event. A lot of traders played there. We're going to have to watch out for that zone. If it comes back in, buyers are going to be the first ones to come in. And then potentially sellers. We should see ourselves in a fairly range-bound pattern over the coming weeks. If we break down and we can't recapture, we know that that range is going to turn into fade action in the future. All right, I drew this line last week, came right into the zone. We're looking at that as support, 5180. That is a critical region. We notice here we had resistance levels showing up and then a bounce up into higher resistance and then a failed retest of that level. That gives us the breakdown zone that is very reliable. Coming into congestion, what do we have to do? Bounces into resistance. Could they be lower? You betcha. Right now, I'm thinking under 53 gives us a problem. If we break over 53, we're going to come right back into the resistance zone. It looks very range bound to me. Russia, OPEC, having a bit of a conversation about what's going on with what they're doing. We'll have to see how that all plays out. 4-hour chart's a bit messy here for our buddy Earl. We just have to look for range-based positioning, right? Just too many triggers, a lot of flat action, and of course learning how to read this is fairly important, but it is extremely reliable. These moves just say, go find support. I just found resistance. Resistance can break, but it usually fades. When it does fade, it's the re-entry short into the position. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is extremely range bound. I drew this line. I'm going to remove it. But we can see how range bound. Take a look. This is a 3-day formation, right? If I go to the daily, I can see the hunt for resistance and then the break of support. That tells me I'm going to fade fairly solidly. Now, here's what's happening. There's a fleeing to the dollar because of a ton of things, and then the sound of, which is terror for emerging markets having trouble. And so there's this race to the greenback, everybody converting to dollars, and that's got gold and oil in a bit of a pickle because they are priced in dollars. And so they're probably going to halt their natural motion for a bit until the dollar does whatever it's going to do. All right, so good luck trading today, folks. We are essentially bound between regions, so you want to look for failed retests to go short and positive bounces to go long. How do you find those positives? You use a 30-minute chart. Of course, you use our blog levels. Good luck trading today.